friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at AAVE as promised. Before we get started, if you would, please give the video a like. It helps out this channel. We're a new channel, and let's get into it. Currently, AAVE is $55.31. We're currently at the bottom of a range here, you can see. However, we need to be careful because this range is a descending triangle. You can see that we have highs that are descending. They're getting lower and lower, and then we have a horizontal support here at the same place. The horizontal support is $51, and the last point of resistance is actually up here at $84, $85. Okay, it's a large range. If you take a look here, when we measure the price range, just from where we are to the first line of resistance, that's 25%. And up here, back up here to the descending resistance line, 30%. So this potentially could be a very profitable area of purchasing, right? Now, the big question is Bitcoin going to break down? That is a good question, and we don't really know at this point in time. Bitcoin 25,836, and you can see here that we've got, excuse me, on the weekly, the past several weeks here have pretty much been down here at the bottom of the range. And on the daily, you can see here that we're just pretty much going sideways here. We've been rejected by the 50, the 30, and the 200, and the posture is bearish. So there is a real risk of breaking down here, but we'd have to break down with volume below 24,900 to have any real impact on the market and any real impact on this structure. That being said, what does that mean for AAVE? Well, AAVE is pretty much mimicking Bitcoin right now. You can see that here. So if Bitcoin breaks its support, AAVE most likely will break its support as well. And so that's going to be pretty big because, you know, with AAVE, we've got all of this support, and I'm sure we have a lot of purchasing orders just below the support line. So if we break down, we're going to be tapping into all of that liquidity. And quite honestly, the market likes to do that, right? The market likes to tap liquidity. And the bigger players that want to get into this would love a push down into liquidity where stop losses are triggered, and then buy all of that up and push the price right back up above that line, that $51 line. So, in my opinion, anything below $51, in my opinion, would be a buy because I don't think that this is going to last. I don't think that prices below 51 or 50 would be, uh, would be permanent or would be occurring or maintaining those price points for a long period of time. I think that as soon as we get to the end of this year, we're going to see a change in market behavior. And I think that Q1 of next year probably will be the beginning of the bull run, which is probably going to last about a year and a half to 2 years, right? So that being said, this is going to be an opportunity. This is an opportunity, in my opinion, not investment advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. This is an opportunity to get a good price on AAVE. Now, when we take a look at the weekly, excuse me, when we take a look at the weekly here, we can see that there is this long structure here, this long period of decline after a massive move to the upside, right? So this was AAVE's initial move higher when it was new, when it first came out, made a massive pump with the market, and then now we're in this sideways consolidation. So right here at the bottom of the sideways consolidation is really where you want to be, because this occurs before you go into the next cycle, right? So we're in between cycles. We're in between cycles with Bitcoin, or actually we're at the very beginning of the next cycle with Bitcoin, in my opinion. Uh, so that gives all of us this rare opportunity to buy in right here at support. We're only, let me see, where we are as far as percentage wise from that $51 uh, price point. Let's see here. So we're about 6.5%, and we have about 16% down to the green support line. Okay, the green support line that is uh, appearing from the Cryptonian suite, this analysis suite of tools that I created. So if we get down here, and that's at 45, right? That's at 45. So in my opinion, purchasing now, because we don't know if Bitcoin is going to break down. If Bitcoin doesn't break down and returns back to 28, 29, 30, then you're going to see AAVE do this. AAVE is going to pump right back up into this area. Now, how high? Not really sure, but we do see that uh, this pump right here was a pretty good pump. Let's kind of take a look. Let's take a look and see what percentage that was. That was a 70% pump right there. That was a 70% pump. So what looks modest, what looks like this looks modest and this looks boring. But the reality is these are some very significant pumps. So I think there for short-term traders, I think there is a lot of opportunity here. And for long-term investors, I think there's a great amount of opportunity here. Here's the caveat. You have to be willing to be patient. You have to be willing to wait. You have to be willing to continue to scale in over time. And if it breaks down, to have bravery to buy that, right? So this, when we take a look at the weekly, where was this? Where could this go? Well, long term, and there are no guarantees that, you know, how high it will go, but long term, if we just return back to where we were before, that is a price point of $625. $625 from a $50 price point. So, if we reach just $500, which would be about here, which would be a lower high, then from here, that's like a 10x. That's a 10x from where you are now. If you have 1,000, put 1,000 in, that's 10,000 that you'll have when AAVE hits 500. That doesn't mean that, and that doesn't even that's not even including going higher than previous peak. Now it's going to take some time to do that. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen next week, next month. Probably not even next year, right? Excuse me. But if you take time to invest in AAVE over time, I think that eventually, probably about a year and a half, 2 years from now, AAVE will get there. And I think you're going to have a very, very handsome return. You're going to be pretty happy with your return if AAVE pulls a 10x, right? So that being said, I don't want to make the video too long. I just wanted to point out that opportunity. AAVE right here is at support, so at this point it's a good purchase, and your upside is about 30%. 25-30% versus a downside of about 7%. So that's a 3 to 1 risk, or excuse me, 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. It's excellent. It's excellent. So, you know, those types of risk reward ratios, that those are excellent. Those are great. Now, there are no guarantees, of course, right? I do believe that it will get back up to where it was before and even higher. It's just going to take time, right? So I think that we're probably in that time frame where um, being down here at this lower support line is a gift because we've tested it once, twice, three, and now this is the fourth time that we're testing it. So I think it's probably going to hold at least another once or twice, right? So that being said, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great week. Bitcoin is pretty flat. We have uh, the Fed meeting coming up on the 19th. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of major moves this week. I think probably the market is waiting for the Fed meeting to see if they're increasing rates and et cetera, et cetera. And again, September is usually not that great. And I've said this before that the month of September in the past 13 years, the month of September, out of those past 13 years, there's only been a couple that have been green. Now, I'm not saying that the price can't go up and be green. I'm just saying that we're in a month that historically has been flat, and so this is pretty much what I'm expecting this month as well, which is okay because it gives us an opportunity to accumulate. Excuse me. Now remember, if Bitcoin breaks support, most likely AAVE will too. But I think AAVE would probably, depending on how bad the Bitcoin uh, break to the downside is, AAVE may get pumped right back up into the 50 plus price point range back up here because it seems like this is where it likes to live right here. Okay, this is where a lot of support has been uh, has been taking place ever since last year, right? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm considering entering a position with AAVE here. I'm just kind of waiting to see if Bitcoin's going to break down or not. Regardless, I think this is a great place to enter, and I'll be entering in over time, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be lucrative. I think it's going to be a great place to buy in at, and I hope that you do well, and I hope this has been educational for you, and I hope it's been a help to you. So if you feel that it's been educational, please click the like and subscribe if you'd like more of these types of videos. And let's enter the bull market together. Let's enter the bull market next year together, which I believe is coming. Now, you need to remember nothing in crypto is guaranteed, but when we follow the cycles, and there's a lot of bullish news out there. There's BlackRock, the largest fund manager, okay, the largest fund manager in the world has filed for an ETF for Bitcoin. Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay. I think that it's going to be huge. And Visa just made and I put this on my Twitter. If you want to read that, go to my Twitter. Visa just partnered with Solana to process payments. So you're starting to see the big players adopt the technology, and it's just a matter of time, right? And Cardano does also have some partnerships. So I'll be looking at Cardano a little bit later. But right now, I think AAVE is at a great place. Now, remember, this is the weekly chart. It's going to take time. It's going to take weeks for this to play out, right? Like so. If you are a short-term trader, this would be a great place to start building a position. You know, uh, if you're a long-term investor, this is a great entry point. And like I said, anything below 50, I think it's a steal. I think it's a great place to enter. Anyway, thanks for your time. We'll see you in the next video.